Check. Good morning, everyone. Those of you that are in here, we're going to get started. The rest of them are having a lot of fun out there, but she's going to give me my microphone cord. Thank you, Twin Brothers. There's only one presence and one power, God, and we are that face of God. So look around at all these beautiful faces of God that are here this morning, here in this place where we practice allowing that presence of God.
Are we going to get a red light? Let me start by saying, go Guardians. I think, are we going to go or not go? Where are we at? Go. Okay. Sorry. Good morning. Welcome to our vibrant community where love is our sanctuary as we joyfully allow God to express as us. My name is Jim Larson, and I'm honored to be Assistant Reverend Paul John Roach as your service coordinator today. We would also like to extend a special welcome today to our live stream viewers. Wherever you are joining us from, know that we feel your presence and are holding you in prayer. Unity Spiritual Center is all about transformation. In addition to a dynamic Sunday morning experience, we offer many opportunities throughout the week to expand your awareness of God and bring us closer to each other. On Saturday, November 12th, Harmonic Journeys is once again presenting their Autumn Gratitude Holistic Fair, and that's here at USC. We will have a table at the fair, and we could use a few volunteers. Please contact Cindy Christman for more information if you would be interested in representing USC Westlake at this event. Unity is hosting a sound healing and movement class every Thursday at 7 p.m. from now through November, presented by Masnardo Massage. These sessions will incorporate Tibetan bowls and gentle stretching. And now Greg Skedrin, has a board update.
Thanks, Jim. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to give you a quick update on Raise the Roof. Maybe you've had a chance to see our goal thermometer in the lobby. Maybe you haven't. We have raised so far in pledges $17,500. So we're really excited about that. So we're more than a third of the way there. Thank you to everyone who's already pledged and donated. And if you have not yet pledged or donated, we strongly encourage that you consider doing that, and thank you for that. The other thing we wanted to mention about that is a technical issue regarding the online donation button. There's no way to set up recurring payments for that. So if you're making a pledge and plan on paying through our website, please fill out a paper pledge form, turn that in the basket that we have in the back, and then when you go to the website, just choose the drop-down menu for donate, and you have to do that each time you're going to be donating. So just wanted to fill you in on that. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was our fall program celebration dinner and cocktail party. We would like you to sign up just as soon as possible so we know how much food and beverages to order. Kimberly Buhner will be in the lobby taking reservations after service, and I want to thank everybody for considering that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Please be sure to look at the website for detailed information on all of our ongoing classes and activities. If you're here in person, please take the bulletin insert with you or pick up a flyer on your way out. Now let's all stand and share our celebration song.
I have always loved this song, One Power, but I'm finding that as we go through the fall program and we see that so many religions feel the same way about that, but they just call it different things, it means even more. So take it in as you sing these lyrics, One Power. We're going to start by singing that. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the Lord in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But difference only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the Lord in you and me. One power. Isn't that so powerful? One power. It's the power of the Lord in you and me. One power. One power.
Please remain standing and let us repeat our church affirmation together. As I let go and let God, as me, I see only good in the circumstances of my life. Please be seated.
Hello. My name is Jessie, and the daily word for today is world peace. And the affirmation is peace creates beauty in the world. An artist creates beauty out of a spectrum of shades and hues, and the diversity of color adds to the depth of the artwork. In this same manner, the differences in the world show the possibility of splendor when combined in the right way. I envision a world in which all people are accepted exactly as they are, and I set an intention to practice and facilitate goodwill towards others. I behold the world around me and find examples of people and cultures blending and mixing in magnificent ways. The potential for peaceful interaction and coexistence are endless. Acts of kindness, honesty, and healthy communication paint pictures of harmony. As I choose non-judgment and unconditional positive regard, I create peace in the world. And the scripture for today is from Psalm 34, chapter 14. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Let us repeat this affirmation together. Peace creates beauty in the world.
And now we will center into our time of meditation and prayer by sharing the idea, I am the one within you. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call. I am the one within
Ever-present,
you.
ever near,
I am the one you seek.
whispering softly in your ear.
Within your heart there is a door.
Step through into the light.
And the arms of love await you. With these golden wings take flight. I am the infinite presence. I am the one in all. I am the truth in beauty, the answer to Spirit's call.
Now it is time for meditation. Take a moment to find a comfortable position. You don't need to be in any particular posture. Gently close your eyes if you wish. You can be standing, sitting, or even lying down. The most important thing is that you feel relaxed and alert. Now slowly take a deep in-breath, holding it at the top for just a moment. Now release and relax. Central to Unity philosophy is the idea of honoring all sacred traditions. One of the oldest traditions in the world is Hinduism. For more than 2 millennia, Hindu sages have taught that God is formless but takes many forms. Unity teaches something similar. There is only one power and one presence in the world, God the Good. We may call God Infinite Spirit, Divine Mind, or Creator. As we move into the silence, contemplate the idea that just as Jesus and Shiva are brothers, so too are we all brothers and sisters in divine truth. Now, as we come out of the silence, consider the wisdom of the Isha Upanishad, one of the Hindu sacred texts. You may substitute any name you choose for Lord, as we know that the name we use to refer to God does not in any way change God. The Lord is enshrined in the hearts of all. The Lord is the supreme reality. Rejoice in him through renunciation. Covet nothing. All belongs to the Lord. Unity often expresses this idea with the phrase, let go and let God. In unity, we often refer to Father, Mother God. We also have this in common with our Hindu brethren. Long ago, they embodied the idea of Father, Mother God in the divine pairs Brahma and Saraswati, Vishnu and Lakshmi, and Shiva and Parvati. Hinduism teaches that all living things are sacred. This includes each of us. As we end this meditation, take this time to express gratitude toward yourself for your willingness to engage in this sacred practice. Now slowly open your eyes and become aware of your surroundings, renewed, refreshed, and ready to embrace and express the divine as we share our unique gifts in an evolving world. And now we move into affirmative prayer.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Often Hindu prayers are sung. So let us join in prayer now. If you are comfortable, close your eyes and allow my words to be your words. I relax my body and open my mind to the truth I have been seeking. I open my heart to the glory of the light within me. I am in a state of expectancy, ready for truth. Creator, thank you for Hindu prayers. May the winds, the ocean, the herbs, the night and the days all be sweet to us. Let us follow the path of goodness for all times. Like the sun and the moon moving eternally in the sky, let us be charitable to one another. Let us not kill or be violent with one another. Let us know and appreciate the points of views of others, and let us unite. As we are aligned with God, our light fills this room and flows out to our community. Let us share prayers for others at this time, seeing their wholeness and divinity. Please say their names aloud or quietly in your heart. Creator, we rejoice as the highest and best comes to be. Let us hear the Hindu prayer of peace spoken by Mahatma Gandhi. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. Thank you, Divine Mind, for the beauty and joy in this day. Gently open your eyes and join me in saying the October Community Prayer. Divine mine, when I let go, I am placing my trust in you, for you are the source of infinite potential and all possibility. When I let you, God, I am trusting your grace will bless my life in the most wondrous ways with perfect outcome. It is in faith I let go and let God. Amen. My name is Marilyn, and Shannon and I will be available after service for prayer support in the sanctuary. I see the light in you. Namaste. Namaste.
There's been a storm brewing inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? 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 They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. It feels like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go. I've got this feeling in my soul that when I get there I will know. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never done before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? 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 I want to make a move right now, though I don't know when or how. When I trust and know the truth, my heart will point the way. There is more of me to share, so today I do declare that I will take that step in faith and let my life shine. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never seen before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? 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 I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call asking, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for?
So hello, and welcome to week 4 in our series on unity and world religions. I'm Paul John Roach, Unity Minister, and also the author of the book, Unity and world religions. And today we're going to look at unity and Hinduism. India is one of the most ancient civilizations on the planet, and some people think it's as old as 10,000 years, but even conservative estimates put it at 5,000 years. And during that whole time, there's been a continuity of civilization and therefore a continuity of religion, which makes it the oldest religion in the world. And it's a fascinating religion. It's subtle, it's eclectic, it is embracing, and it's always unfolding and changing. And yet it has a solid philosophical core of understanding. Hindus call their religion Sanatana Dharma, which means the eternal way or eternal truth. And that's a little bit like unity, isn't it, when we talk about the truth principles? So there's a commonality right there. Hinduism is, as I said, several thousand years old, and there's several schools of philosophy as a result, and many, many different teachings. And yet what this does is provide a multiplicities of ways to approach the divine. In the same way, there are a multiplicity of gods, even though in actuality, God is seen as one. God shows up in numerous forms, and some people say there are 33 million gods in Hinduism. But the core idea, once again, is that God is formless, but takes many forms. And so there's the one formless God, the omnipresent presence and power like we have in unity, yet it expresses in a multiplicity of ways. Simply put, it's a bit like unity's divine ideas, where you have one God that has a huge amount of divine ideas, which are like facets of the diamond, if you like, and I like that. Let's see, I gotta read my handwriting again. Folks, I've been experiencing some downturns with my eyesight recently, and I'm gonna get that fixed, but it's making doing ministry a little problematic sometimes. I was going to say the pantheons of gods in Hinduism are similar in a way to the ancient Greek and Roman and Celtic and other traditions. And part of that is because of the influx of the Indo-Europeans into India about 3,000 years ago. But there's also a longer tradition in Hinduism that goes back, as we said, predates the Aryan invasions and goes back 10,000 years or so. Case in point, one of the holiest cities in India, Varanasi, sometimes called Kashi, the city of light on the holy river Ganges, is considered by anthropologists and archaeologists to be at least 10,000 years old, and therefore one of the oldest cities on this planet, which again is quite fascinating, isn't it? So we're talking about an ancient civilization, but the interesting thing is, unlike Greek or Roman civilizations, which are now artifacts of the past, this is a living tradition that has that pedigree going back all that time. And that gives the places in India, I think, and the temples, the holy places in the mountains, pilgrimage centers, gives them a tremendous power because worship has been taking place there for literally thousands of years. Much of the wisdom of Hinduism is enshrined in great texts, the oldest of which are the Vedas, which are books of knowledge and ritual and philosophy. There's also the Upanishads, which have sometimes been called the Himalayas of the soul because they are such deep texts. And there's a multiplicity again of texts surrounding the various sects, teachings and philosophies of India. There's two great epics in India, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. And the Mahabharata is the great story of India itself. And part of that Mahabharata is called the Bhagavad Gita. It's a very short text, but it's considered to be perhaps one of the most profound writings ever committed to paper. And in 18 chapters, it lays out the whole of the spiritual path in a very profound way. Mahatma Gandhi, by the way, every morning he would read from 3 different texts, and I'm sure he had others he was using, but he said 3 were core to him. And the first text was the Sermon on the Mount, because he considered the Sermon on the Mount was the essence of spirituality. That's interesting, isn't it? And then the second text that he read every day was the Isha Upanishad, which is one of the shorter Upanishads. And then the third text was excerpts from the Bhagavad Gita. So he found those 3 texts to be the preeminent texts of our planet. And in fact, he said at one time, I think, that if every other text was destroyed and only the Sermon on the Mount and the Bhagavad Gita remained, we would have everything we need to live a deeply spiritual life. So that's quite fascinating. So in essence, God is one, as we said earlier, but takes many forms, has many aspects, and each one is like a doorway into the truth. And I think you could see images and statues, murtis as they're called, as portals to the divine, and they represent different aspects of our consciousness. So it's not that there's a multiplicity of gods, but God has a multiplicity of aspects, and so one might work better for you one day than another. Just as we might have a divine idea that's meaningful one day, that's more profound for us than another, but doesn't mean we preclude the others. Each one could be important. I believe that Hindus believe in a pantheistic system, not pantheistic, panentheistic. There's a difference, right? Pantheism is that everything is God. Panentheism is that everything is in God, and God is in everything, but God is not limited to the everything. It is above and beyond, and yet at the same time intimately connected. And I think that's stated clearly in the Gita, that God is intimately connected, is part and parcel of the universe, and yet not limited to that universe, is above and beyond, is transcendent also. And I think that's an important distinction to be made. In Hinduism, we find everything from agnosticism to fundamentalism, from literalism to deep mystic understanding. And so it's a very eclectic religion in that regard. Let's talk about the gods a little bit. There is, in modern Hinduism, the great trinity of the 3 main gods, and then their consorts, the 3 main female gods. And that's another thing I love about Hinduism, is that the divine feminine is an extremely important part of the teaching. And where we may have lost that in some traditions, it certainly hasn't been lost in Hinduism. And so we have the great trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer, if you like, or the transformer, you might say. And then there's the equivalent in the female of Saraswati, the consort of Brahma, Lakshmi, the consort of Vishnu, and then Parvati or Durga, the consort of Shiva. And again, we can go into great detail on all these. And by the way, there's another god that shows up in terms of the form of a monkey god, and that's on my screen right now. You may have noticed that when you've been watching this. I'll tell you a little bit about Hanuman in a second. But it makes sense, though, that there's the creative urge in the universe, the sustaining power, and then the transforming, the dissolution so that new can come forth. And you need all those aspects of God. And the consorts, the feminine consorts, linked with that. Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge and poetry and art and music, the creative fields of things. Lakshmi, the goddess that's linked to the sustaining power, is the goddess of prosperity and abundance. And then Parvati or Durga linked with Shiva is the goddess that overcomes everything with extreme power and often seeming violence to take care of business in the universe. And one of her dark aspects is Kali, and we're familiar with that perhaps from popular culture and the Temple of the Temple of Doom or whatever the modern films we might have seen about Kali as a destructive force. But we don't have to be afraid of this. This is part of the planet, isn't it? Things arise and fall. There's a birth and death and then rebirth. So, and I should mention that's a key idea in Hinduism, the idea of reincarnation, that there's an endless cycle throughout the universe. Two other aspects I want to mention, and then there's many more gods, we won't get into all of them, is Ganesh, who is the elephant-headed god. He's the son of, or one of the sons of Shiva. He's the god that takes care of obstacles. He's the remover of obstacles. And then Hanuman is the hero of the Ramayana epic, because Hanuman is the son of the monkey god and the wind, and represents extreme strength and devotion, courage. And so he rescues Sita, Rama's wife, another god, Rama, from Ravana, who is this demon force. And he, through extreme courage, he's able to bring her home. And that's the basic plot of the Ramayana epic. Vishnu, the preserver, is unusual because it has 10 avatars, forms of the god. Rama is one. The Buddha is sometimes considered to be one. Jesus is considered to be one of these avatars too. And of course, Jesus is held in high regard in Hinduism as a great teacher, and is lifted up there often alongside Shiva as being a great teacher. In the philosophical systems, sometimes we talk about Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is spirit, undifferentiated essence, limitless spirit, and Prakriti is matter, is the manifestation of that. So it's similar to unity in some ways. You have this pure spirit that takes manifestation, and it's a little bit like a dance. They talk about Shiva and Shakti, the male and female aspect. So Shiva, again, is spirit, and Shakti is the energy of spirit, the moving force, a bit like the Shekinah in Kabbalah, mysticism in Judaism, and other female entities, forms in other religions. So there's a lot of commonality in that way. And of course, we say in unity, don't we, Father, Mother, God, because we acknowledge there's that connection, there's that dance between the two that is very, very important. So ways to approach the one, how do we do that? Well, Hinduism provides, again, that word that I keep using, a multiplicity of ways to approach God. And it lays out ways in which we fall from unity of understanding or grace, not by sin as much as by what is called Maya, illusory states. We're caught up in illusion, because ultimately human beings in Hinduism are considered, like we do in unity, considered to be divine, essentially. And the Atman, the spirit, is within all human beings, but we've forgotten it. And we're coming home to the truth that I am that essence that cannot be defined, that is the truth of the universe. So I am that, but I've got lost in the world of illusion, the world of illusory nature, sometimes called samsara, the world of time and change, the endless cycle, which leads to rebirth. And the goal is to wake up, to see clearly, so that we can not be pulled apart and overwhelmed by the illusory dance. Ultimately, even Maya is part of God, and it's sometimes called Lila, the play of God, playing a game with us, if you like. confusing us. Again, it reminds me of what we said about the fall of man. It's a fall forward. Sometimes you have to fall forward in a sense that you have a certain amount of self-knowledge, but then you miss the larger point, but you can't find it until you've lost it, right? So Maya and Leela and the wheel of samsara is a way in which we learn on planet Earth. It's our attachment, our false identification that leads us astray, but then we have this beautiful ability to come back to the truth. And all the great gurus and teachers throughout Hindu history have taught the way back to oneness again, to unity of understanding. The goal, the ultimate goal in Hinduism is moksha, sometimes referred to as mukti, which is freedom. They're just freedom from illusion, seeing things clearly. There's another beautiful trinity that I like. It's called Sat Chit Ananda, and it's a way of describing God or the universe. Sat means being or truth. Chit means consciousness, and Ananda means bliss. So being, consciousness, truth, which I feel fits in very well with the unity trinity. So the Father is the beingness of the universe, the truth of the universe. The Son is the consciousness, the Christ consciousness, and then the Holy Spirit is joy in action. And that fits in with the metaphysical trinity too, right? The mind, idea, expression. So mind is the being, consciousness is the idea in mind, and then expression is how we live it, how we put it into practice, hopefully with joy, with Ananda, because ultimately that's what living fully is. It's a joy to be alive. So first two principles, I think, fit very well with Hinduism. The idea of essentially there's one presence, that humankind is divine, essentially. And the third principle is very much present in Hinduism. You might call it karma, but the idea that everything's connected, there's consequences for our actions. I'd like to read a beautiful passage from one of the Upanishads, which to me really sums this up. It sums up unity's law of mind action beautifully. And it says, you are what your deep driving desire is. What your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. And as your deed is, so is your destiny. So it arises from our deep driving desire, which informs our will, which then leads to action, which then determines our destiny. So if we want to change our lives, we change what we're desiring, right? If we're desiring less than the perfect wholeness of the universe, then we're going to be led astray. But if we remember the truth of our being, then we are given a freedom. So that leads to the fourth principle, prayer and meditation. And India is a treasure trove, folks, of ways to practice prayer and meditation. And I mean, there's no way we can get into it all today. We know yoga a little bit, don't we? Because we have a yoga studio on each corner of our cities these days. But there are many kinds of yoga. Yoga simply means to connect, to have union with, to come back to wholeness. Familiar with Hatha yoga, the physical yoga, but there are many others. There's Bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion, Jnana yoga, the yoga of wisdom, intellectualism to a degree, study, Karma yoga, the yoga of sacred action, Raja yoga, which is a whole way of approaching systematically to move towards freedom. Patanjali Yoga Sutras lays out Raja yoga quite nicely. There's Kundalini yoga, bringing up the energies in the body and the use of chakras and whatnot. There's also a huge tradition of japa, or repeating mantras and chanting and being in satsang and singing songs, kirtan, which can lead to enlightenment also. So this is just a few. There's a whole system of healing out of Veda, and some of us are familiar with aspects of these systems. But like I said, the multiplicity available. The fifth principle, putting it into action, again, is very much part of the Hindu context, because traditionally in the old days there was a caste system, and each person had his rightful place in the caste system. That is breaking down now, and officially the caste system has been abolished, but it does still exist. But now people are seeing that it's to do your rightful thing that's important, not necessarily to be in a particular caste, but whatever is yours to do it well. It's called doing your dharma, the righteous action. And as Martin Luther King said, he says, better to be a street sweeper and do that well than crave something you can't do, right? And I think Hindus would agree with that. It's whatever you're called to do it well. As Jesus said, if you do well in a small thing, God will give you a larger thing. And so it's that willingness to be humble, to do what is yours to do. And there's a big emphasis in Hinduism on seva, on service to others. And that's very important. Pilgrimage is also important. The idea of going to Varanasi, for instance, the most holy place, and being buried there or cremated there, rather, is extremely important for many Hindus. But there are many other holy places, rivers, mountains, temples throughout India, and each one is a center of pilgrimage, and people spend quite a bit of time making that pilgrimage and earning good karma, I guess, in the process. There are many great teachers. You may be familiar with some of them. I have my own favorites. Ramana Maharshi, the great 20th century guru, is one of them. There's a few fake ones, no doubt, but India is a place of deep wisdom, and there are many, many wonderful teachers. I mention a number of them in my book to get you started if you're not familiar with them. That's a quick summation of a religion that I very much love. I think there's many commonalities between Hinduism and unity. And I think actually Charles and Myrtle Fillmore studied aspects of Hinduism. They were certainly there at the first Parliament of Religions when the Indian Guru Vivekananda was present. And as they were unfolding and developing unity, they took on board many aspects of Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, and other spiritual teachings to come up with this idea of unity. So I think there's a lot of commonality. Certainly for me, I feel very attached to this teaching. The image that is on the screen behind you is a photograph that we took in South India. We went to a nature ramble in the forests, and when we got to the top of the hill, we came to a Hanuman temple. And as we walked down the hill, there were multiplicity, there's that word again, hundreds of statues of Hanuman in various poses. And again, he represents that idea of courage, devotion, complete dedication to the spiritual path. And of course, he's using the mudra of be fearless, do not be afraid, all is well. And I like that too. Hanuman simply means big jaws. That's the translation. So I guess he's the god with big jaws, right? But he flies through the air. He's the original flying monkey, I guess. All right, let's close with a affirmation. It comes from, again, one of the Upanishads, and I'll read the Upanishad, and then we'll put it in the form of an affirmation that we can take together. When the wise realize the self, the true self, formless in the midst of form, changeless in the midst of change, omnipresent and supreme, they go beyond sorrow. So we can take that now in an affirmative form. I'll do it in two parts. Would you join me? So firstly, I'll say it first, then we can say it together. I now realize my true self, formless and changeless, omnipresent and supreme. Together, I now realize my true self, formless and changeless, omnipresent and supreme. I am free of sorrow and filled with wisdom, love, and joy. Together, I am free of sorrow and filled with wisdom, love, and joy. And so it is. So thanks for being with us today on this particular subject of Hinduism. And join me next week when we'll look at unity and Buddhism, which should be a fascinating week too. Until then, bye-bye now. Take care.
Thank you, Paul. He gives us a lot to think about, doesn't he? Are you willing to practice? Are you willing to make a commitment to practicing and living into these ideas to, as individuals, make the world better? That's a question. Thank you. Greg is ready. There's a golden thread that connects all traditional, spiritual, and non-secular ways of life. I don't know if you're like me, but I grew up in the family I grew up in. We prayed at every meal, and a long time ago, I, for some reason, stopped doing that. I don't know if that's true for you, but our spiritual practice today, in the Hindu tradition of panentheism, God in everything and everything in God, set an intention to bless everything you eat and drink this week. What a practice. Everything that you eat and drink throughout your day. Take a moment to bless it and reflect on your practice by asking, who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? So I hope you will take that on this week. I hope you grabbed a green card when you came in. If you did not, we're going to put this commitment in writing and put these on the web. So raise your hand if you need a green card. Otherwise, take a hold of it and look at it, and we're going to speak this together. You're going to fill your own name in the blank and speak it, and then later you can put your name on it and bring it up to add to our rainbow of commitment. So you ready? A couple more people waiting for theirs, so take a deep breath and say it as if you really mean it. It's up here if you don't have it, so you're going to insert your name. Are you ready? Together, I, Bonnie, will let go and let God by focusing on the goodness, purity, and harmony in all beings. So you've got kind of two practices for the week.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's It's in every one of us. I just remembered, it's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing is better. I can see through the tears. I've been realizing that I bought this ticket and watching only half of the show. There is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know. And it's good that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us, by and by.
Thank you, Eric. What a beautiful prayer. Absolutely wonderful. Together we've been uplifted, inspired by our shared experience this morning. From the raised awareness of the truth of who we are, breathe in that feeling of gratitude and joy. In that consciousness, we turn now to the spiritual practice of generosity as you share your financial gifts. Your monetary support of USC allows us to participate in creating a world that works for all. Thank you for sharing your donation with cheer and joy for this place where you are spiritually fed. If you're sharing your gift in service, please hold it in your hands. If you give with a credit card, including the donate button on Facebook, please hold your gift in your heart. Please bless your offering and let us affirm together, I am one with and now realize divine abundance.
And it's so good that it's just one step at a time, right? We don't have to do it all at once. One more step. Are you ready? One more step. You can stand when the offering goes by.
One more step. We will take one more step till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step.
One more word.
One more word. We will say one more word till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word.
One more prayer.
One more prayer. We will say one more prayer till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer.
One more song. Sing it out.
One more song. We will sing one more song till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more
Take it down
song.
softer. One more step.
One more His peace for us, and everyone will take one more step.
Please be seated.
All things are now working to bring us into a new life of loving service and rich abundance. Thank you, God. Amen. In our service today, we have raised our consciousness, and from this place of high consciousness, let us now join our search team in affirming together, joyously, I am affirming that the right minister is drawn to our congregation, and our congregation is drawn to this right minister in perfect divine order, and I am grateful. Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, including a special organization we select each month. This month, we will be giving 2% of our offering to Voices for Children. This Lorain County nonprofit trains volunteers as advocates to represent the best interest of neglected and dependent children whose parents are entering the court system. Thank you for joining us this morning, and a special thank you to any new guests, both live or live stream. We're happy that you were called to be here. And please join us in the community room following the service for coffee and fellowship. Oh, and thanks to Sherry Polk, who painted the fire hydrant, I would have noticed, outside Unity Hall. Take a look as you leave. It's really fun, so thank you. Please be sure to register for our fall program closing celebration events on Saturday, November 5th. You can register online or just call the office. Our message next week is Unity in Buddhism, and our soloist will be Trey Gilpin. Now please stand, let's sing our closing songs.